Hey guys, how are you? Welcome into another episode of the Daily Juice podcast with me, Matt Perrault, here on a Wednesday after a little bit of a 2-1, 2-0 run here for the Daily Juice. 4-1 mark for us over the last 2 days. Not bad. Let's keep it going here today. You guys can follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt. The offer from BetMGM is above me on YouTube for the video. $10 bet to win $150 on any event. Use that promo code JUICE150 at sign up with a new account at BetMGM. And frankly, well, I'm going to tell you here, I'm going to go pretty chalk today. Now, it's a Wednesday heading towards the Final Four. So we already have the Duke bet in at Duke -4. I'm waiting to see what happens with Nova, how that number moves. I want that number at 5 or 5.5, and then I'll take Villanova. Somebody said, Matt, you hate Kansas. Guys, I don't have any real emotion to this in terms of who I'm betting on or against. I'm just betting what I think is going to happen. I had a pretty good talk with Chris Andrews from the South Point on my other show, and he opened up KU -3, and he said he's perfectly comfortable needing Villanova to cover. He likes it. He said the number's going up and up and up, and he's like, all right. Jay Wright against Bill Self. Look, not every bet wins, okay? Sometimes the books lose. Sometimes the books win. The idea is to be how consistent can you be? Can you be on the right side more often than not? That's the point, okay? So I don't hate Kansas. There's no anger there with me taking Villanova. I just think Villanova is going to play really well, and I think Jay Wright's defense can cause problems. I like the under in the game as well, but 5, Nova +5, yeah, I'll be on Nova +5, +5.5. Let's see how high the number is going to go before we jump in on it. But Duke -4, that number is only going to climb. That number is not coming down. That's why I jumped in as early as I did, laying the 1 unit with Duke -4. Okay, just heads up. So we were on a couple of unders. The Lakers are awful. I mean, just absolutely awful. The amount of points they gave up, they get blown out at Dallas. LeBron was out. Game was never close. As of today, the Lakers are out of the postseason. That is insanity. They were the odds-on favorite to win the NBA championship, okay? Wow. That is a brutal year for the LA Lakers. Handpicked roster by LeBron James. I know Anthony Davis is out, and I understand all of that, but they're a really bad basketball team. The Bulls continue against the Eastern Conference the rest of the season. Bulls, when they're up against a team from the Eastern Conference, under 2-0 this week with that. And then we get the Pistons, who continue to play really well. It was a little bit of a sweat there. The number, it got to double digits with about a minute to play. It was up 10 for the Nets. Ultimately, they win. I think they won by 8, right? 7 or 8. So we get the cover with the +13.5. We get that right. All right, so I'm going back to the NBA. Having a good week in the NBA, but I'm just telling you, I've got 3 plays. They are all very chalky, and I'm basically assuming I'm going to go 2-1 today. Okay, I want to go 3-0, but chances are when you lay favorites, the way I'm about to lay favorites, but late in the year, I don't think it's that bad of an idea. The numbers are very sharp. The teams are all playing for something. So let's get into this right away here, and let's talk about the Suns and the Warriors. Fun game. WinBet has been tremendous with numbers overnight. BetMGM's good too, mind you. But WinBet has got better numbers, and they get them up first. So just FYI on that, if you're looking as to what's going on with numbers, like where are you getting these numbers, Matt, overnight in the NBA, it's WinBet. So WinBet's got this Phoenix -5.5. Other books are already at 6. Hopefully you guys get this where it's not higher than 6.5. That would be my limit. I wouldn't go to 7 on this, okay? I'd rather have 6 or under. If you have 6.5, I don't hate buying it to 6 either, okay? 2-possession game. I think that's what it's going to be. But Phoenix on the road this year has been stupid. 23-13 ATS on the road. Now they're 42-33 overall. But against the West, Phoenix is 25-20. They've covered their last 3 games, 8-2 over the last 10 games. And Golden State is leaking oil in a big, big way. Golden State has lost 6 of 7. They lost to Memphis by 28. They lost to Washington by 8. They lost to Atlanta by 11. On the flip side, we've got this team from Phoenix, that wins by 10, 10, 9, 3, 27, 17, 16, and 29 points. This team has now won 8 consecutive games. I just think they're playing. They already know they've got the 1 seed wrapped up. I don't think that they care, though. No Steph Curry. Golden State's at home. I understand it, but I don't like the way they're playing at all. I don't like the attitude. They didn't send anybody to Memphis to prep for this game, so that's why the number is as small as it is, because you got Klay Thompson, Otto Porter Jr. is playing, Draymond Green is playing. They'll fight, but I just think Phoenix is the better basketball team. Phoenix, -5.5 for a half a unit. Game 2, Celtics hosting the Miami Heat. Game opened at 3, numbers now 4.5 and climbing for Boston. Now, Boston didn't send anybody to Toronto in their last game, and they got it to overtime, lost by 3, and they covered. Boston has covered their last 3 games and 6 of the last 7. They have been playing very well offensively. They've been scoring a ton of points. Defensively, they played really well. Boston at home, not that great. 17, 19, and 2 ATS, but they're 7-3 over the last 10. They're 23, 22, and 2 against the East. And Miami is leaking oil. I mean, forget leaking. They're pouring oil out of the engine. They are 2-8 ATS over the last 10, 1-4 over the last 5, and they've played really bad basketball. Now, they did beat Sacramento at home, laying 14 by 23. That snapped a 4-game losing streak, which I actually kind of like, because beating Sacramento is fool's gold, literally. They don't, no. Lost to 15 against Brooklyn, 8 to the Knicks, 14 to the Golden State Warriors, 7 to the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm not buying that Miami's walking into Boston here and beating this Celtics team. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are both expected to play. Robert Williams is out, but Al Horford could be back for Boston. Lay the 4.5 points. Celtics -4.5 at home against the Miami Heat. And one more game to get to, and this one is very chalky. I get it. The Memphis Grizzlies on the road against the San Antonio Spurs. Spurs are playing for a playoff spot. Memphis is as well, but Spurs are trying to figure out where they're going to be in the play-in tournament. Number is 6.5. Have you guys seen what Memphis has done on the road this year? 25-13 ATS. They have covered, the Memphis Grizzlies have, the last 5 games, 6 out of 7, and they have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9-1 straight up over their last 10 games. Without John Morant, this team's incredible. Against the West, 31-16 ATS, Memphis against the West. 31-16. You kidding me? Now, San Antonio is pretty good too, 25-19-1. But at home, 16-21, San Antonio. You got a 25-13 team ATS, and the wins have been by 19, 26, 28, 25, 30, 12, and 24 over the last 5 games. That's covering spreads by 19, 26, 18.5, 13, and 11.5 over this 5-game winning streak. Big covering, no sweats, easy games. Not going to bet against this streak. Ride the streak, bet the streak. Memphis, -6.5 on the road at San Antonio. Again, I get it. San Antonio's playing for something too. I think Memphis is just a better team right now. End of the year, peaking, playing incredibly well, blowing teams out. I expect another big win on the road at San Antonio for the Memphis Grizzlies. All right, 3 bets, all favorites. Never a good idea. But late in the year, I think it might be okay. I'm okay doing this for 3 bets because it's late in the season. Numbers are pretty sharp. I bet we'll be sweating free throws at the end, but we could cover all 3 of these games. Phoenix, -5.5. Boston, -4.5. Memphis, -6.5 here for the Daily Juice podcast. Let's keep the NBA going. Not doing great in the NHL, so I'm kind of staying away from the NHL here a little bit. Baseball, we'll have some future bets coming up a little bit later on. We got the Masters and Tiger potentially coming up, so we could have some golf bets to get into. But right now, going to stick with the association in the NBA. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me on Twitter @SportsTalkMatt. Each and every morning, it's Daily Juice Podcast. Always being brought to you by BetMGM.